Hey everyone, this is Austin Schur here with We Write About Music, and today I'm so happy to have back on once again James Robert Webb. He's got a brand new single out. It's called Lost in Vegas. It's unbelievably catchy, and I'm super excited to talk to him all about it. James, thank you so much for being here. How's life? What's going on?
It's good. It's my pleasure being. Thanks for asking me, man. Yeah, I mean, life is good. Making music. Got the family. In this crazy world, we still have our core people around us, and
Absolutely.
and
And at
life.
the end of the day, that's all that matters, truly.
All that matters. All that matters.
You
Yeah,
got the family, you got the studio. What more could you possibly
that's
need?
that's true. Yeah, exactly. I can just sit
Very
down and make
true.
music whenever. So yeah.
Exactly. Listen, I want to get right into this. As I mentioned, and I will mention again, the song is super catchy. It's got lyrics that you can kind of dive into and dissect. But I want
Yeah.
to hear about the story from you. The song title speaks volumes. I think we've all had a Lost in Vegas moment, potentially, but I want to know what stemmed this.
Yeah. You know, I used we used to go to Vegas about once a year at least.
Sure.
My wife and I and family, like we just like a lot of people would just love to go out there and hang out. I love to play blackjack. I like gambling,
Yeah,
and
sure.
it's like adult Disneyland. It's like, shiny lights and everything else.
That's a perfect description.
Yeah. It goes a little deeper too because my mother had an uncle that lived out there, and he basically was one of the guys that painted like the signs out. So he painted a lot of the
Oh,
signs back in the 60s and stuff, back in the heyday. So they had family out there. I had a great uncle and a great aunt, and so my grandmother used that was her brother, so we used to go out there a lot too because of that. But we would never stay at their house. We'd always stay at some place on the Strip, and
yeah.
when you live somewhere like that, Nashville or LA or New York or Las Vegas or Paris, you probably never go to the tourist stuff unless you have people in town, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yes and no,
Yeah.
but I understand that. But I understand being in Vegas and wanting to be close to the action.
Yeah. Yeah. And my wife, the other thing with me personally is that's where we went on our honeymoon, and we stayed at
Nice.
Treasure Island. And we went over to the Mirage a lot. And the Mirage just closed, so that's kind of in the
Yeah.
right. So yeah,
Yeah, I heard that Disney is going to take over one of the spots on the strip now.
probably.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I'm
yeah, they
surprised.
got to get their hands in everything these days. But
We're gonna have a Disney princess come and win a jackpot or something. I don't know.
exactly.
Remake
Um,
Enchanted in Las Vegas. Or
Right. Nice. Well, listen, the song is great, and I think it gives the people the opportunity to live or to learn about a slice of your life. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Which is
yeah.
really cool. How did you actually create the blueprint for this song? Like, what started first for you?
Uh, you know, actually, it's kind of built on. It's kind of like musically in my head, kind of like one part like 90s country, Toby Keith kind of
Yeah,
very poppy stuff, and one part kind of like I don't know, pop punk, maybe like even like Katy Perry's first album or something like that.
sure, sure.
Just something that's kind of a bop, and wanted lyrically to just kind of take it back, take it out of the ordinary everyday life, because the album coming out, Weekend Outlaw, is kind of built around that of just kind of, get out of the grind and go and do something fun on the weekends kind of thing. So, and, Vegas is a great weekend place for people that don't live too far away too. So, yeah. And so, you're pouring in different memories and associations, and yeah, then you come up, put it in the blender, and that's kind of what came out. So, but
Nice.
I'm definitely trying for a different direction, kind of a more pop rock type of side, which I love.
Totally. And that's what I really enjoyed about it. I feel that country as a whole has really shifted the core sound. Obviously, you have the
Oh, yeah.
90s influence coming in here, but I mean, there's just so much more country music that's like hitting the charts nowadays. Not that it was ever a
Sure.
taboo genre, but even mainstream artists are tackling it. And what I like about this is there's a really modern production feel about it,
Mhm.
something that is really difficult to do, bridging the gap between the older sound and the newer sound, and then bringing new things into it. How did it work on the production end of actually being like, this is my vision, this is what I want to see happen. How do I do this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Genres are kind of like almost non-existent anymore, but they still
Exactly.
have
Yes.
genres for kind of a reason. And, country traditionally kind of came out of folk and kind of, music from the hills and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it has a common thread of storytelling. It seems to be like even today, like if you're going to have
Yeah.
it's a hit in the country genre, it has to kind of have a story that people can follow along to,
Of course.
which is a little different than most other genres. But I love pretty much all genres. But ironically, I think it's the people coming in to country right now that are kind of saving the genre for me because I haven't really liked much
Okay.
the last 5 or 10 years because it kind of to me kind of all sounds the same. It's like I don't know,
I
like the
agree.
heritage stuff. Like we have a hit record, so the boys at the record company are like, well, we want all our let's copy that song basically, and suddenly everybody sounds the same.
Sure.
And everybody's been chasing like I don't know, like Florida Georgia Line and like Boys Around Here or things like that. But ironically, I think people like Jelly Roll, who comes from more from a rap
Yeah.
side, and Post Malone. I mean, when I heard Circles by Post Malone, like that song, that's a country song, really. It's such
Right.
a great, well-written hook, and the guy's got a voice. So it's no surprise that like that's probably my favorite album, since the Jelly Roll album.
That's
Which
really cool. I've listened to it as well.
yeah,
And yeah, not too long ago, maybe like 2 weeks ago, I saw him do an entire country set, like no originals,
yeah,
all classic country covers,
covers.
and he
Yeah.
crushed it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's it. It's the heart about, he just feels that genre in whatever way. But yeah, it's really cool what's happening right now because I started as a super traditionalist because,
Yeah,
being that 90s country stuff was kind of over when I started. And but I always liked one of the things I liked about was the up tempo stuff, even going back to like the Western swing and Bob Wills. Like on one side, that's almost I tell people like Bob Wills and Western swing is almost like Anthrax, and speed metal
sure,
stuff.
sure.
Like, so I've always been kind of relatively traditional, but then I was just I wanted to go a different direction because I love all genres. Like I listen to really about everything. So in the dad rock, maybe that's what you would peg
Sure.
gentlemen of a certain age probably dig my music and their wives or whatever. But um, so for this one, we wanted to, I think it was just like you said, it's hard to like match the modern and bring a new fresh sound to something. So I did use a lot of players from like A-listers like in Nashville, but I wanted to kind of bring it together. We recorded this track at House of Blues. And I basically just said I don't want to think about country at all. It's just kind of think more of like it's a rock song. I know it's a country song, the lyrically it kind of works as a country song, but
Sure.
think of it more as like, an alt pop rock kind of thing,
100%.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said about like kind of the constructs of genre,
Yeah.
because country music is not what it used to be.
No.
It's constantly changing and bringing in a whole new audience.
Yeah.
For you, as not necessarily a former traditionalist, but someone who, was traditional in the country genre, do you ever feel like an outside pressure to conform to what people are enjoying right now?
Well, I think maybe not so much as an artist, but as a songwriter, there's always the in the back of your mind, if you ever want to feed your kids as a songwriter, you want to make songs that
True.
that resonate with people.
Yeah,
And there's no shame in that for me because pretty much all the music I love has mass appeal. Like
sure.
for what I mean? I don't I mean there's a few few bands that I like that not everybody loves, but for the most part, the songs that resonate the most with me are ones that are bops, to put it put it one way. So I try to bring that in. For me, it has to be kind of like the story kind of has to make sense, or it has to have clever lyrics, or something about the lyrics have to draw me in
Yeah,
intellectually, and the music has to there has to be a groove or something, like it's got to be there's got to be a musical hook that's drawing me in and wanting me making me want to listen to it over and over. I think that maybe comes from growing up in the 80s and listening to like I don't know like Prince and Michael Jackson and a lot of people like because all that stuff in that era was really
sure.
it had to be a bop if it was on the radio. So and you're seeing that in other genres now kind of coming back, like
Yeah.
Lizzo, or look at, Dua Lipa's entire album is just like rehashed 80s.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
it's wonderfully different, and it doesn't, I hear these things and like, okay, well, that's lifted from this and this, but it's something completely different.
Right. I
So
love that record. I've been listening to it nonstop, but I
play more.
played it with my parents, for example, and they're like, wait a sec, this sounds like the song from 40 years ago.
I
And
know,
I'm like,
a
yeah,
future nostalgia album, I think is
exactly.
that's the uh I mean, that's the last great classic I've heard. I mean, there's a lot of great other great stuff out there,
Yeah,
but I think that's one that's gonna stand the test of time because people, you know, some people like me, I get in my phases where I just want to hear like dance music.
sure.
But that's like you can turn the brain off on the lyrics and just play that too. So
Right.
it's anyway. I love
Good.
love.
No, that was a great answer.
Yeah.
Um, a little bit more on this record that is gearing
Yeah.
up to come out. Can listeners expect more experimentation, or can they expect songs in this similar vein?
Yeah. Well, there's songs in this vein. There's a little bit more experimentation. There's a couple of songs that are out now that we kind of released on an EP, like
Sure.
one that's been kind of a sleeper. I was kind of surprised is a song called Adore, which is almost, I don't know. I listed it kind of as an alternative thing because it's almost if there's anyway, you just have to check it out. It's like a very
Right.
almost like lullaby thing, but the production I was kind of going a little bit between, say, Smashing Pumpkins, like something like Beautiful on that Melancholy album, and something that sounds almost like '90s alt,
Sure.
not Nine Inch Nails, but something, or the Cure or somewhere in there. So I mean, there's some different things. There's something for everybody if you like country. There's a couple of Americana type songs, but I try to I like I've made the decision on this one. The Weekend Outlaw song is a little that's probably, it's still a country lyric, but the production is probably I would call it, say, between Red Hot Chili Peppers and Guns N' Roses kind of
Awesome.
production on, not sound like a copy of that, but there's definitely some.
I understand. It's the influence. Listen, everyone's pulling something from someone. It's
You're either
just the
gonna
way
think,
that it works.
yeah, you'll either love that and that'll make you want to stream down the rest of the album, or maybe it'll turn you off, and that's fine. That's fine.
That's
If
okay.
that's the Gatekeeper song, that'll be good. I decided to put it up first because it's so different. So
Sure.
yeah,
Nice. Do you have any plans to get out there and play these songs live?
man, I would love to come play in your neck of the woods. I mean, I'll come to
Please.
a concert for you or something. Yeah, I have taken the last 6 months off from trying to. I've kind of given up trying to bang my head against the wall and getting, random bar owners everywhere to call me back to book, and
Sure.
just focus on putting the music out, and we'll see where it goes from there. I mean, I've been really blessed and lucky to have a lot of success at radio. I'm still like, my last song just went number one at the Texas, which gets published in Billboard,
Hell
and
yeah.
also
Congrats.
then thank you. So that's the one side, coming also back to like making what people want to hear. I really appreciate that people at Texas, and Texas radio in particular, have been so welcoming to my style. But I've also kind of made the decision that I've just kind of make, you know, I'm not, you're never going to, as an artist and producer, make something groundbreaking by trying to make, stuff that people will safely like, right? Some people have a
Sure.
knack for that and are fantastic, but for me, I'm at a point where I'm just trying to take creative chances and just not throw things to the wall, but like just try to express all of these different genres, if you will, that I enjoy.
Right. But
Yeah.
listen, I love that. And if I were to make a record, it's something that I would do. I just think where we are in the music space and where we are in like the future of production, you can do anything. Like
Oh yeah.
there's truly nothing holding you back from creating an album that is super vast in what it sounds like, but also cohesive in the stories.
Yeah.
It kind of hits the markets of, okay, if you like pop, you might like this, and if you like country, you might like this, but at the same time, kind of holding true to who you are as an artist. I think that's really special.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. I think, there's Serge Tankian of, like of
Sure.
System of a Down, like a lot of people don't know him, but if you go and look at his artist page, he has all his stuff that's like
Yeah.
composition and everything else, which is really cool. So,
Right. Way
uh,
different. Or you're like, I
different.
just wanted to hear the man scream. And it's like, well,
Right.
he doesn't do that all the time.
He does all this other stuff, which is
Yeah,
really cool, but you've got the System of the Down, and then you've got, if you stumble upon his Apple Music or Spotify page, then you're going to be rewarded with stuff. So, I'm
exactly.
trying to make different things and just
That's awesome.
creative expression going.
Right. No, it's about fulfilling yourself at the end of the day. You're making music for you that you hope other people like. Conforming to like the society of what people are supposed to enjoy is not the way to go about it, in my
No.
opinion.
Yeah, everybody kind of they want 40 million followers, like whoever, a
Sure.
Katy Perry or Blake Shelton or whoever. But at the end of the day, I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet. You're adding what,
Yeah,
200,000 people on Facebook or Instagram, every year. And look, I always say if there are 5,000 people that in this world that love what I do, I'd rather have those people following me than
totally.
2 million people, that
Right.
are not that interested.
I
I
fully
don't
agree
know,
because
2
no,
million
those
people.
are the people that, yeah, 2 million would be great, but
Yeah.
it's the loyal, devoted people. Those are the ones that are going to spread the message of your music and they're going to talk about it emphatically. They're not going to say, oh, I heard the song the other day, and then that's it. They're going to say, hey, listen to this guy named James. His music is killer. I'm sitting you down and showing you this right now.
Right.
That's,
Right.
I mean, I know that I've done that. And it's like,
Yeah.
if you, yeah.
Thank
So
you.
that's great. I have a couple more questions for you. I
Yeah.
want to know what's the plan for the rest of the year? We're just kicking off September here. The
Yeah.
song is, just about to come out, but what's like the framework?
Well, right. The next thing I'm hoping to get out with over the next few months is I'm trying to do a short film of basically
Oh, nice.
it's probably not going to be before this year, but of doing a music video for Lost in Vegas and Weekend Outlaw and tying that with kind of 3 songs and just kind of try to tie it as almost like a little short film thing with the
Sweet.
because it is kind of a story of everybody always tells me like on my team that like my life would be an interesting reality show because we haven't talked about this, but Mondays I'm out. So like okay, Monday was the holiday, but Tuesday I'm being a doctor and I'm stabbing people in the back and making them feel better. I had
I
a
didn't know that. What kind of doctor?
oh, I help I do pain management. I'm a musculoskeletal interventional radiologist. So I kind of bone in
Wow.
imaging, but mostly we do like I tell people we're like cardiologists are to thoracic surgeons. Uh,
Okay.
that relationship, we're like that for orthopedic and neurosurgeons. Basically, we do kind of minimally invasive, less invasive, cheaper, more effective procedures that kind of keep people out from the heavier kind of surgeries. So I mostly treat hopeless cases in back pain, people that have been told that
Wow.
nothing that can be done for them or people that have given up. And like I had a young lady that was in her 40s Tuesday, and like she was in 10 out of 10 pain, and she'd been in that pain since she was a teenager because she had an accident, and afterwards she was like 2 out of 10. So I mean her pain wasn't all gone, but she was significantly
Amazing.
improved, and like just being able to do that still blows my mind after all this
Right.
I'm doing it. So it's a real freaking blessing. I mean, like, people that say if you find a job you love, you never work a day in your life.
Sure.
It's like, I've got 2 of them. I love music and I love being able to help people because I'm in a situation as a physician where I actually get to help people. And
Exactly.
most of my
Yeah.
colleagues aren't, they're just, it's gotten so brutal with the practice of all the government things that we have to like
Sure.
dot I's and everything and stuff in insurance. But yeah, so um, that's a calling. The music is a calling, and it's just so anyway, like there was a time where I go see a patient, and the next day I'm flying to Nashville or somewhere, and that night I'm playing the Bluebird or what it's just kind of an
Yeah.
interesting story arc. So we're trying to. That's one of the things I want to do is just kind of do like a little short film, like 10 or 15 minutes that ties the music videos in with an arc about kind of the stuff that I do of just like
That's awesome.
working, I'm not working blue collar anymore. I'm definitely from a blue
Sure.
collar background, but I'm there helping patients, and I'm going out and singing or whatever. Like go
I
follow
love,
your
I mean, it humanizes you as a person because
yeah
when people listen to music, they just assume artist,
yeah.
that's it.
Well, I usually keep the doctor thing on the down low a little bit. People find it fascinating, but I don't want to be, it also in certain circles, like at radio or something, it can be seen as, oh, this guy's just, he's, bucket list stuff and blah, blah, blah. But it's really more of a calling. So, I mean, gosh,
Nice.
this is my fifth studio album. So it's not a,
Right, exactly.
I'm
It's not a new thing.
not,
Right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Totally. Very cool. My last thing is basically, is there anything else important about this song that you think people should know before they check it out?
Oh, I think one of the things I'm always trying to remember myself is, we get busy doing what we're doing, and like, we get at work, or we're planning on the vacation, and then when we get on the vacation, we're not, we're worried about the next thing that,
Right.
it's being, the mindfulness of just trying to, the practice of kind of being here right now, like me and you in this interview, and the people that are watching for
Yeah.
all, trying to take those little moments in life that you get and make the most of them. And so this song's kind of about a guy that, let's go back to, telling the significant other, let's go back there. Remember when we had that good time?
Yeah.
And so, take the people that are important in your life and hold on to them, and, celebrate the good times. And when they're gone, you celebrate them through remembering the good times. And while they're here, let's make all the memories we can.
Nice. Great message. James, I want to thank you so much for taking the time. It was great talking to you last time. It was even better this time learning about this song.
Yeah,
Please let me plug it for you before we wrap up here.
absolutely.
So, for everyone out there who didn't know, this is James Robert Webb. The song is called Lost in Vegas. We will have the links in our article and everywhere so you can listen, share, follow along, stay tuned for more albums on the way. I'm excited. And truly, man, thank you so much, man. This was a great talk.
Oh, I had a blast. Thanks so much, Austin, for having me on.
You're very welcome. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
You
Talk
too.
soon.
All right.
All right. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.